Hello? Let me check audio real quick. Hello? Let me check audio real quick. Okay. Audio's good. Except there's someone coughing in the background. That's lovely. Hi, it's Sergeant Games. I stream every so often, usually at night, like now. Predominantly weekends, but there's usually lots of gaps in my streaming because I only really do it when I'm alone, and it completely depends if I just feel like it's the better option when I'm doing things. So I was farming Mangrove today and was just sitting listening to Walking Dead, like talking stuff, like talking about the story, specifically the game, the Telltale series. But I already did that yesterday, not farming Mangrove. I was decorating a house. It's a little big to call it a house, but my home. And thought it would just be better to do something different so I don't get too bored. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm currently farming Mangrove because that is the roof color of my builds. My palette for my builds is sandstone, birch, just a lot of mixed wood. There's no acacia in it, but it has pretty much every wood. No acacia or pale oak or cherry blossom. The goal is to fill up my shulker boxes with mangrove, but I think I'm almost done with this forest. So I'll have to end up looking for a different one on my creative copy. I should probably describe the rules of the server while I'm here so that you guys understand it. If you can't tell already, there is a few mods. There's Shader Pack and then Tree Chopper and a Grave mod. Those are the only mods on the server. And also audio. An audio enhancer. But otherwise there's nothing else. If I did not have a Tree Chopper, I don't think I'd be this far, because obviously it's gonna take less time to farm wood, so I'd still be farming wood, or I would not even be close to done on my house. I do have saplings back in my base, but instead of farming saplings, obviously, and doing the normal way of planting, bone mealing, and then mining everything down, I decided to do this. Just so I don't have to deal with the roots, I can just hop around the roots and collect the wood as fallen. That's at least my philosophy of it. I don't like farming mangrove, but it's such a pretty wood color that I need to work on it. Okay, back to the topic at hand. The rules, I'm the owner of the server. I copy the world to test builds, to find biomes, just to make processes like building and farming a little bit easier. And, you know, it's mostly cosmetic. I'm not using it to, like, get too much advantages. The only time I think it would be considered advantages when me and my friend decided to have fun and farm trial chambers to max out some mesas. We don't use the mesas, we just have the enjoyment of owning them. The world itself has not been touched by creative. It is on peaceful mode as of right now. But I can turn it to hard whenever I want. I usually swap between them depending on who's online. When it's just me, I keep it on peaceful because generally I'm building and I just rather not deal with mobs. It's my preference of play style. Obviously, some people look down on it. I don't really care. And then I turn it on hard mode when I'm hanging out with my friend because, you know, it's just much more funny if something happens to him while he's online rather than me by myself suffering for something. Other than those, there's no griefing on the build on this world, so I'm not going out of my way to burn or steal from my siblings and my friend. Well, it's not like you can steal from my friend. Me and my friend share all of our stuff. And on top of that, the griefing part is just, you know, I wouldn't want my sister to grief me, I wouldn't want my brother to grief me. I work hard on my build, so I'd want to put common courtesy to my siblings, if that makes any sense. With that, like, if you're wondering, like, what's kind of the point of this realm is, if you can't really do none of that interesting stuff as you would on an SMP, this world is more of, like, a progress world. It's based on how old it is. So, every year, I'll spend time trying to check, like, how old the world is. Now, this world is not a year old. It starts at 1. So, when the world was made, it was named 1 year. So, it's still within its first few months of creation. If that wasn't obvious with it's still a high day count, but is relatively low if you consider it as a year world. It is not a year old. But it will turn to 2 year, because it is the marker of what's the next goal. And at the end of each year, I like to go back, see what I did within the year, things I collected, things I built. And my goal for the time when this turns into a year is to have like a nice village set up. My plans for this world is to make a large Japanese city, a more traditional one like in Edo period or based on Ghost of Yotei or Tsushima's time period. Mainly Yotei, because that one's the one I took reference photos from. And everyone else's nation, we generally try to keep it to a, how do I describe it? A more medieval or olden style, nothing modern, like cars or things like that. I just prefer the style for a Minecraft world to be less modern, if that makes sense. So that's how I build in this world. And also, the Japanese style is the style I know. I learned off of a very cool tutorial. Does not mean I only use tutorials from that person. What I did was I built one tutorial build in this world. It was a really cool large shrine. I think you can find it pretty easy if you look it up on YouTube. It's a 6-part series. I've built that tutorial twice, and now I apply the things I learned from that build onto new builds. Recently I finished a large palace in this world. I'll show you it once I'm done. I don't think that I quite had it shown when I toured this world before. I believe it was just the shrine at the time, and I was getting ideas. The goal for my nation is once I'm done with the city or I'm happy with it, I move on to a different region in the world and restart and make like another settlement or another palace empire thing, and just keep doing that until I'm satisfied. The goal is to give them different color palettes. My current color palette is a light and red, so the light walls, red roof. But in the future I'd like to do light and blue or dark and blue or dark and red. Things like that. And just figure it out from there. I doubt I'll do anything with the pale oak wood. Purely, not because it's like a relatively hard wood, but because of, I'm trying to figure out how to describe it. But it's just not, it's very flat looking wood to me. It's very simple. Like, there's not much texture on it, and I like things with a lot of texture, because it, like, helps with that detailing and whatnot. It looks painted. I think that's a good way to describe it. So, like, by light walls, I mean a mix of sandstone and birch. The difference to that is that I also don't use stone. You'd think like a light build I'd use stone over deep slate, but no. If I use stone in builds, I use deep slate. I like the darker color. I think it's a nice contrast for a platform to build on top of. meteor shower. Yeah. There's not much to talk about on this world, as not much has happened. I think something I'm going to do is take down one of my first builds. I think it was my first major build outside my little villager bunker. Bunker because it's underground, not that it's like built to be an actual bunker. Huh. Cool. And it's the creeper farm, and I'm thinking about tearing it down to update it into a different one. I used an old tutorial because I was used to that tutorial, but the farm isn't producing a lot of gunpowder for the amount of time it takes to AFK there. So I might burn it because I made it out of wood. Congratulations. And move it back about 100 blocks. Just so, only for one reason, is because if you stand at the very edge of the island that I build on, you can see just like the first few blocks of it, and you know, that'd be kind of messing up the skyline if you can stand at a shore and see a looming mob farm that I have no idea how to cover up at this time. So yeah, if I do tear it down, it'll probably be after my next planned projects, which include 3 lighthouses, because I have like them placed around the shores. There's like a main, if I had to describe my land, there's like a main piece of land near spawn, and then there's like a river that carves out an island. That is where the shrine is. And then there's an island, I don't know what cardinal direction it would be considered, but it would be, I think it would be southeast or southwest, one of the two, of that I cleared out, and I put a palace onto it. And the lighthouses are supposed to be set up so that if you draw a line from each lighthouse, it kind of like triangles around the shrine, if that makes sense. Oh, the shrine also is a completely cosmetic build. It is used for the containment of naturally spawning brown sheep. So if I find a brown sheep, I'll name it and then put it in there for like a cool little collection to show each brown sheep. Each brown sheep gets their own name, and most of them are based on like shrine, like tending names. So we have like a shrine priest, a shrine maiden, or like names relating to how I found them. Like there is, I forgot his name, pardon. A very fleeting moment. But I found a sheep in the chicken pen, or the chicken hole my sister made. So I gave him a name based on that. I found a sheep when it was a baby, so I gave it a name relating to that. I think it's Tamasan, or Tamachan. We'll have to look at her. Also, gender is kind of randomized. You can't tell the gender of a sheep in Minecraft. It's kind of just based on the vibe. In this world, there's like small bits of lore that we build up on, just based on fun experiences. Mainly the lore for my nation comes between like when me and my friend are having fun, or like just random occurrences of like what happens while I'm building or hanging out. So for example, one time like a lead came out of nowhere, or we don't know where it came from, so we call it the holy lead, because a brown sheep like kind of led my friend to it while he was waiting for me to come collect the sheep for the shrine. So that's like a piece of lore where it's like, oh, the holy lead for the brown sheep. Our nation does like have a worship thing, like we worship the brown sheeps. Not every brown sheep is considered a god, but there's like in the fake religion. Actually, no, not fake religion. Let's call it a real religion. In that sense, there's like a main brown sheep that doesn't show up, but sends like the other brown sheep to like, you know, keep an eye out, bring some prosperity to the lands, which they do surprisingly well, which, you know, I sound delusional saying that, but we do have like fun little stories where my friend followed a brown sheep because it looked a certain direction and came back with a lot more diamonds than he would have if he didn't follow it. So we generally like to joke around and have fun with that idea. These roots, even when I avoid them, fill my inventory like crap. I'm gonna have to... Not a lot of mangrove, unfortunately. It's very annoying to farm mangrove. I wish the tree chopping mod, like, removed the roots with the wood. If that makes any sense. Since, you know, it is a wood type. And then I just filter them out properly. That would save me a lot of time and needing to jump around and stuff. But, yeah. Almost cleared, I'd say. And, yeah, I'm falling through trees. Okay. But yeah, the brown sheep stuff is a really fun piece of lore on my nation. I do have like a mini book that I update occasionally. Well, last time I updated it was a while ago. But if like I get an idea for sheep or anything like major happens lore-wise, I'll go through and like type it out, make a little story out of it. For example, one sheep I accidentally killed like 3 times in a row in like very similar circumstances. Even my friend accidentally killed her once. And it all happened like in a very set circumstances where it was like she jumped into a boat as we were transporting a new one or trying to get one out of a boat. And then like when we broke the boat, she landed in front of our item and died. And every time like a sheep dies that way, I just rename the next sheep that name. So her name is Saishu no Miko, by the way. So her story that I put in the book is She Who Never Dies, where the whole lore of it is the sheep doesn't die, she just kind of respawns all the time, you know, just to cope with accidentally killing a sheep 20 times. Okay, I think I've completely massacred this area. And I did not get much wood out of it. Which is kind of annoying. For the amount of wood you get from a mangrove tree, it is disappointing. I wish there was big versions of mangrove trees where I could like put 4 populates together and, you know, like get more for 1 mine. These all shrunken parts are very disappointing. Kind of have to just... You get more roots, and you can't really do anything with roots, I don't think. Yeah, you can't... They're not a optimal building material, at least not in my book. Obviously, everyone wants to farm the mangrove part. Let's check our haul. I don't ever need mangrove... Actually, no, I would need mangrove logs if I wanted to make torii gates, because of the redness, but we don't even have a shulker box of these, and I mined half a forest. Which is very sad. I will either have to find a new forest, which will be very annoying to farm, or I will have to do bone mealing. And I don't want to do bone mealing because, as you can see, all these roots I'd have to mine. I really wish there was like an easier way to farm mangrove, as it's a very annoying wood. Like, I wish I could find a way to minimalize the roots and maximize the log. I'm sure someone smart has already done it, but I'm on bedrock, so anything like a Java player does, it might not work in my thing, so I have to look specifically to that. I do know like you can like get around it a bit by digging a hole or something like that. Just, I don't know. Yeah, the goal here was to fill the 3 shulkers, and we didn't even fill 1. That's fine though. I think I'll look for a new nation off camera. I'll just show off my current build. So my land is really close to spawn. If you spawn in and just walk a straight direction about 100 blocks, you will find my place. I think it's about 200 blocks, 100 to 200 blocks. You will find where I've set up my place. And my sister is at -1,000, 1,000. My brother is in a mountain near spawn too. The reason we live so close to spawn is obviously it is a server between siblings and my friend. So there's not much worry or concern about someone like griefing, because obviously it's against the rules and we don't want to break the rules on each other. Like, oh yeah, I farmed this early on. Don't know why it broke like that. Sometimes the tree chopping mod can break and it will mine the leaves but not the things. As you can see here, my shader pack lags out a lot and will stop me from flying. Can't walk any further outside this trunk. Okay. Iron's a very nice commodity. Gotta find out where I'm at. Okay, we want to go this way. This way. We're going down because the first number's -200, I think. Around that point. Fun fact, this area is house to a trial chamber. I remember because I died multiple times in this region with my friend while farming it. I think the hole is right around there. But, yeah. If we go a little bit this way, my sister's house is over here. She's making a farm. So there's her barn area, her dock, and then her first house is right there, full of villagers. If I had to say, like, trying to figure out, like, what to talk about. Around this area is the creeper farm, like, we'll see it right up here. Right. A little off. My nation's about right in front of it. The build I just completed is right in front of it, because that is the shore where you can, like, see it. This is the build I built without a tutorial. This is my first major build that I did so like that. I finished it just recently. It's not decorated. I can't really do interior design. But the first floor is decorated on its own because it had a practical... Is that a cat? I don't have a cat. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot. I usually play Minecraft on mute, but I thought since I'd be streaming to just add the audio. Oh, is that... Oh! Is that you talking out here, guy? You the one making the noise. Aww. You sound like a cat. Oh, I didn't even realize they sounded so close to cats. Okay. He does not have a name. I haven't decided one for him yet. He is a very helpful little guy, though. Had him recently. Yeah. Never realized he sounded like that. Like I said, I mostly play Minecraft on mute. I'm turning this all into planks because it's easier storage. And if I do need logs, I'll just form them myself. Mangrove, I need purely planks and logs. Not logs, slabs. Yeah, slabs from them. If that makes sense. Yes, that's very nice, little guy. Because it is the roofing. I'll save some logs, though, just for the sake of, you know, if I need a torii gate. And then we'll turn the rest of these into slabs. Oh yeah, trapdoors too, I guess. He's having fun out there. Oh, I already had logs, huh. Did not realize that. That's fine. Having access is not a big problem. It'll all be used up eventually just based on the building style. I have a single log. Put it in there for now. And the rest of this... Put that in there. Not you. And we'll put the rest of these over here. That room is for, like, the building materials. This is for general materials. If that's gonna make any sense to people. I'm specific on where things like that go. Because I'm gonna be looking for those building materials much more than these things. Or they're more specified for organization. He's having fun out there. Dang, little dude. And then I'll just put these sticks with my villagers when I find the chance. If you wanted to understand the reference of this build, I looked for... It was mainly one specific Japanese palace. If you look up Japanese palace on Google, you'll probably find it. It's kind of green. But I went for the style of 2 roofs, and then big ones on each side, and then 1 roof, and then roofs on the side, and then no roof at the top. And then, like, obviously not roof at the top. No roof on this top part right here, and then roof right here. My favorite viewing of this is like bottom floor, but also just viewing it from the side over here is really cool. Like if I turn around right now, that is a very cool shot. This one over here is a tutorial build. I'll go and show it. I'll show the name just because, you know, that is the polite thing to do. It is not my original build. The platform under it is my original build. I still need to remove this. I'm gonna do it now. So the island under this was terraformed pretty poorly, but I don't mind. I just need to add more bumps instead of it being smooth, but I don't really want to farm all of that right now. This is banner patterns I got from Google, just recolored. I'm not talented enough for that. But this is a shrine. If we open this door here, we'll find all the named sheep. We have Kiyome, Jinin. This is the She Who Never Dies, Saishu no Miko. We have Kanushi. We have Tamayori. We have Yorimichi. We have... This guy is the first one, Gijuro. Or he's the third one. Tsukio. Haruto. Naori-san. Trying to find her. I think this one's the bird guy, Tori no Kanto. Shizuki, Misame. Tamayori is the sheep of the Holy Lead. Reiji, Naruto, Kanushi, Kiyome. This is Kogane, which is like a little desert or something like that. I found it with another sheep, so had to come in. Some of the sheep can come up the stairs too. I gotta be careful of that. I was tempted to turn these into rooms, haven't decided yet, so that's why they're left open. I built this, never decorated it. This was my first major build on the world after the creeper farm. purely cosmetic. I decided to build this before I even made a starter base, which my starter base is technically that palace. Otherwise, I slept outside. There is a sheep up here. He's like the main shrine piece. He started on the top floor, not the top floor, but the second highest floor, and he's slowly making his way down. I don't know if no, he is not up here. He started here. This is like the Bible thing that holds the stories, and then this is a book my sister gave me, as she gave me stuff, but as you can see here, Saishu no Kami-sama. It's like God in his name, but he's not the main guy. The main guy's Ohitsuji. Let me see if I can find the... Yeah, you can try to read this, it's cringe. Yep. Saishu no Ohitsuji. Let's go back downstairs. Very simple, obviously it's very open, very bland, there's not much here. I think over time the rooms will be filled up with memorabilia, like things of note for the year, like if my sister gives me a book, I'll put it in there, and things like that. But most of these sheep, I want to start possibly moving them out into the thing, like taking a lead or something, pulling some to the top floor, and then fishing them out, because obviously having them all in one spot, it's pretty hard to keep track of them. They are eating a lot of greens, so it's possible that I just fill the place up with more greenery. As of over here, this was my plan to put the original Emperor's Palace. It was going to be much more traditional, less isolated, and have like, there was casualties here. Not us, just creepers. But I needed creeper banner, so I had to deal charge creepers here. It's very cool to look at this from a distance. But, the plan for this was to have that kind of be right here, behind the shrine, and then have a bridge to the shrine from the spot. I still think I'm going to have a bridge to the shrine from that spot, because look, there's an entrance. Makes sense to have that. And I might... There's the villagers, by the way, in that hole. And this was going to be like a military sort of base, but I noticed that this area over here was completely isolated, and decided this would be a great spot to make a house. Obviously it's terraformed, that is why it's very flat. It used to have stone, a lot of stone, on the things. Like if we fly over here, you can tell it used to be a stony shore. But then I took down the stone to a certain level to match what I had envisioned. So like if it was higher than 70, I mined it down, because I wanted a good clear view from straight on. Even now, like right here, this doesn't block the view if you stand all the way in the back. Like obviously if you stand behind it, it's going to block the view, but if you stand next to it, it doesn't block the view. This is the planned lighthouse spot. Then over here is also the next planned lighthouse spot. It is a 15 by 15 area. I might expand or shrink it depending on like needs, because I have a very specific number to follow, or a pattern for the walls. It's 353 or anything that includes those patterns, because that's just how it's done. I need them to be odd at the very least, because I'll show you here when the walls aren't odd. So if I have a section of 4 like this, messes up this part right here where it's dun dun dun, which it's not as bad as I think it would have been, but it is still like a notable concern. But yeah, lighthouse, and then obviously this spot right here is just screaming for a lighthouse spot, if you know what I mean. So I placed one here. Very nice. Originally, I think you could see it in my old video, my builds are all my chests were over here, which since I finished the thing, I moved them. All the farms are still here. Since I play mostly on peaceful, I don't need carrots, but I still like keeping them around because carrots are a fun food source. This is the farm, and the chickens I do not need. Tempted to kill them. But yeah, there's not much going on with this world as of right now. I have a lot of plans for it though. I think this area right here is going to be a sort of shrine area, maybe? Like a smaller shrine that's like enclosed on itself with like the main shrine. Smaller shrine. Like it's not going to be taller than the grand one here. And then a village over there since I moved the Emperor's Palace. Either a village here or a large public place like a library. I don't know yet. Again, most of these builds are cosmetic. I enjoy the cosmetics over practicality. And yeah, very simple thing. I've already maxed out all my stuff. So as of this build, I'm done. I do realize there's a mistake here. Yeah. I hope you I'm probably gonna end stream and start up another game like Genshin Impact. Just purely because I've already done my goal for this video and don't really need to like do anything else. It's a very short video and that's okay because it's not like y'all want to watch me build, and when I do build it's usually during the day due to my school hours. But thank you for watching this video if you do. I hope you had a great time watching me as I had a great time playing for you. And as always, bye-bye. Or bye-bye for now if you catch me streaming, like, at the same moment I'm ending, but I doubt it.